Whenever a new official pilot is released to get the attention of BL fans, there's hype and expectations based on how good and engaging the pilot is. But there are instances where it does not meet expectations, which leaves the public disappointed. In this video, we will be discussing some of the BL series that were hyped during their pilot release but fell short in their actual run. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. First on our list, don't be too emotional. When the official pilot was released, everyone was talking about this show and how excited they were to see it on their screens. Now that it's already airing, it's quite frustrating that all of those expectations were not met, and I must say, it's hard not to feel disappointed about the show. Although I already knew that the show wouldn't be a fantasy-based series like everyone had anticipated based on what they had shown in the pilot, it's still a letdown knowing that this had so much potential. But aside from that, the most disappointing part is how the characters were written, most especially Jane's attitude from the beginning until the current episode. The pacing and narrative felt a little too repetitive, and that hinders the development of the characters. Now that we are approaching the later episodes of the series, I'm still hoping that the show could get better, but it's up to the viewers whether it's already too late or not. Number 2 on our list, not. I'm not gonna lie, when the official pilot was released to the public, I was one of those who anticipated its arrival because the lore of Omegaverse is something that's quite new to me. But now that it's already airing, I'm not really sure if I was wrong for having such high expectations from it, which left me disappointed episode by episode. Of course, the chemistry between the main couple is exceptional, and that's probably the best thing about this series, but the execution of the plot isn't really great, to be honest. The inconsistent and messy pacing also added frustrations that confuse me on where the series is heading. Anyway, it's only 3 episodes left before it ends, but with its current status, the excitement has already died down. Number 3 on our list, Only Friends, Dream On. The first season of Only Friends gave a different approach to love stories, and although the plot was filled with toxic characters and storylines, back then it was a huge departure from GMMTV's usual cute and fluffy BLs. So when the company decided to create a follow-up, albeit with different characters, a lot of fans were hyped and couldn't contain their excitement. In the first few episodes, it felt like another chaotic and messy story, but as the show progressed, it became more toned down. Unlike the first season, I wouldn't say that the series was bad or a complete flop altogether, but it felt like a standalone show rather than giving us the very same energy that we all loved in the first season. Anyway, I still love the characters of this series, but probably the writing could have been better. Number 4 on our list, revamp the undead story. When this series was first teased to us with its official pilot, I was already hooked because of its vampire story and, of course, the comeback of Bon Prem in another BL series. But when the official trailer was released, the tone of the story had changed into something more comedic rather than the usual dark and cold approach. That being said, I still held on to the hope that it might be just because of how it was shown in the trailer, and it could be different once the series airs. But like what they showed in the trailer, the story wasn't what I expected it to be. Anyway, the story itself had tonal inconsistency. I was confused whether the series wanted to be a dark thriller, a comedy, or a romance all at once, but I must say that the shifting was quite jarring and made me lose my attention. Nevertheless, the main couple still showcased great chemistry on screen, but Barcode really stole the spotlight for me. Number 5 on our list, Churmche. Of all the BL series listed here, this might be the least hyped show, but as someone who loves Tutor Yim, I was truly excited for their comeback in this series. To be honest, The chemistry between the main couple here was immaculate. Although the material itself wasn't the best they've ever had, there's no doubt that their chemistry was so strong. Sadly, the plot was non-existent, and it confused me as to what the narrative really was. Even though the chemistry was good, as a viewer, I wanted to see the actors' potential put to good use, and this BL left me so disappointed. Anyway, I dropped this BL at a certain point but picked it up again sometime later, only to realize that the show didn't improve at all in the later scenes. I'm still hoping that Tutor Yim will get great material soon, and I hope it happens sooner rather than later. Number 6 on our list, Bittersweet Love. This BL recently concluded over a week ago, and although I shared quite a good impression of it before, there were some annoying details that I felt were the reasons why it never became quite popular among the fandom. As Chinese BL series increase in numbers, it's inevitable that there would be some shows that won't reach our expectations based on what was promised in their trailers. Bittersweet Love is, I think, one of those series. At first, I must commend the great acting skills of the main couple, and the tension added interest to the plot. But the consistent passive personality of one of the main leads is quite frustrating as the series went on. It felt like there was no character development, and he remained flat from start to finish. The love story could have been told with much better writing, but I guess that's just how the characters were written. Anyway, my journey with this series was more of a roller coaster ride rather than a full-on disappointment, to be honest. Aside from this list, Gel Boys Season 2 is also one of the BL series, which I think isn't reaching its potential. The first season was one of the best series from last year, and it's just normal to have high expectations for its follow-up season. But with 3 episodes so far, I just don't feel the same magic I experienced when I saw Season 1. There are 5 episodes left, and this might change my thoughts about it since I really wanted to love this series. Anyway, which BL series do you think had high potential and yet still flopped? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. That's it, and see you on the next one.